Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2025 betting show for the Cognizant at the Palm Beaches World and Resort Championship Finals from PGA National. I am DB, your host, and it's a weird week already because also we have Pat, and Pat is dealing with multiple issues, even more so than the normal deck of cards that he's been dealt. But Pat, your internet has gone down. You're working off of a hotspot, which this is destined to go well. And so future apologies. And also you told me before the show, you are literally blind right now.
Yeah, very blind. I had my eyes dilated today. That's the worst, by the way. It's the worst going to the eye doctor. And I can't see, so I'm wearing my readers right now.
Oh God. It's year 10. We've been talking about it all year. We're going to keep talking about it all year. Year 10, and Pat is now doing a full show in readers because he had to have his eyes dilated. Why'd you have to have your eyes dilated?
Because it was an annual eye doctor appointment.
I feel like you just had that. Is something going on?
No, I didn't. And also, contact lens fell out while I was at the eye doctor because they gave me that little thing they give you to put your. Well, you don't know this because you don't have contacts, but
I used to. I did.
I guess I didn't put one in right, and it fell out. I don't know, so I had to leave there barely being able to see. I was half blind, and somehow I made it to go pick up my son. I think I may have swiped a kid in the carpool line. I don't know. I didn't see any cops though when I was leaving, so I felt like things were okay. But
you could be
police officers,
a fugitive right now. What if you picked up the wrong kid? You don't even know it's yours.
He sounded like the right kid.
Okay.
Although he's a teenager, which he doesn't really say much, so it could have just been any teenager with a scratchy voice.
What's more of a judgmental environment? Because I did used to have contacts, Pat. I used to wear contacts before I got LASIK. Best decision I ever made. But when you go to the eye doctor and they talk to you about sleeping in your contacts and how much you wash them and how much you're taking them out and what's wrong with your eyes, is that more judgmental, or do you feel more judged at the dentist office when you're in the chair and they're talking to you about flossing and you have to lie about flossing or tell the truth? Either way, you're not doing well. You're not doing so good. Which one's worse for you?
Well, I would say this because this is a very good topic here because I'd say it's the dentist first, the flossing, because today there was a gentleman who seemed like he was very knowledgeable with the contact lenses and things like that. And he said, do you take them out every night or do you sleep in them? I was like, no, I'd never sleep in them. And he was beaming and he gave me nucks. I think he gave me a nucks when he blew it up like that. And I was like, all right. So I felt good. I felt good about like, hey, I had the right answer. And he was like, you really made my day. And I was like, really? That many people sleep in their contacts? So I felt pretty good about it. So I was technically like the flosser. Like I'm a regular flosser apparently to the contact lens people.
Dude, that's amazing. That's something you and I shared in common back when I was a contact lens wearer because I was an avid remover of the contacts every day. I never slept in my contacts. It never went well for me. My wife will sleep in contacts for like 2 years. She's probably using the same set of contacts she graduated high school in. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And my twin brother does that too, which is odd. You would think we would have the same. Yeah, he's the same as your wife.
Wow. I mean, it's unreal. Good for us. Look at us. I would have got nucks too.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Hopefully he's having a great night too. He gets to go home and tell his wife about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're a golf show. We talk about golf on this show. We're 4 minutes in. We're supposed to talk golf. I definitely want to talk a little Mexico before we move on to this riveting field at the Cognizant, although it is an upgrade from what we just saw in Mexico at Vedanta World Disney Trip Land, whatever it was we were doing there. Let's talk about a few things we got right last week. We both hit one of our locks in the top 20. I had Højgaard top 22 to 1. You had Jaeger plus 125. We loved Jaeger all week. He was on my card. Was he on your card too?
He was.
Yeah, we had Jaeger on Sunday. You know, we've had some consistent Sunday sweats, and that's a good place to be because as we saw, golf is weird and wild. Really weird and wild. And, you know, to have a sweat going into Sunday is a nice thing. Now, did it feel like much of a sweat by, 6, 7 holes, 8 holes in? Not really. Jaeger was kind of flatlining. I had Smalley on the card who kind of surged and then panicked and freaked out. That was a quick mission for Mr. Alex Smalley there. But then we watched Pot Geeter and Brian Campbell. And, I want to bring in our boy Matt Every since he's already here and he's ready to rock and roll. I want the three of us to talk about the Brian Campbell Pot Geeter story. And also in the event that there he is. In the event Matt has to disappear because of his shoddy connection, which now he's frozen in time.
Yeah, Pat, you look great.
It's the best you've ever looked at. Yeah, he's here. Matt.
Yes.
Did you know Mr. Campbell because he came on tour in 2017?
I know his name. Yes, okay. I do not know him. I do remember his face, seeing him out there. Didn't he get penalized for slow play somewhere?
Oh,
is that him?
Maybe.
Is that him in New Orleans? Maybe with his partner. Did they get that?
Matt, who could know? Brian Campbell is literally the most forgettable human being in any sport I've ever seen in my life. I was all day Sunday, or I watched actually a fair amount of golf Sunday, which is weird. But I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't feel like I've ever seen this person, seen his name, and I've done this for 10 years. And I still don't know that I could pick him out of a lineup right now, even though I watched him all day. And he's so forgettable. I'm just going to say this. You don't have to say it because you're big content guy, former tour player. But as a fan, it was just the saddest, most pathetic thing to watch him poof the golf ball down the fairway. And the juxtaposition to Pot Geeter is obviously at play here. But it reminded me of one of my favorite movies. It is my favorite funny movie of all time.
Kingpin?
No. The other guys. The other guys.
All right.
And Mark Wahlberg. But when they're going at it in the office and they're yelling at each other about how bad they hate each other, this is right before the whole if I were a lion, I would develop a breathing apparatus made of kelp a sea lion or whatever to come up on the land and kill your whatever family. Yeah. But Mark Wahlberg tells Will Ferrell that he said, I hate you in the sound of your piss hitting the urinal. It sounds feminine. And I just kept thinking about that the whole day with Brian Campbell. I even woke up thinking about it. And then I thought about what would have been really funny because I was messaging this on X. I was tweeting this on X. Last year we had Jake Knapp. I mean, who's sexier than Jake Knapp on the PGA Tour? There's not anybody. And he's got this sexy girlfriend. And, I'm not saying it, but, okay. Let's just our show is not very professional. Brian Campbell and his girl way down the scale, okay? Like way down the scale of PGA Tour dudes, girlfriends, and wags. And I'm just saying it. And it just fits. Everything fit with this guy. So when I woke up in the middle of the night last night to go pee, I actually had this thought too. The other guys popped back to my head. One of the best bits in comedy movie history in The Other Guys is that Will Ferrell's character is married to Eva Mendes in that movie. And every time she walks out, Mark Wahlberg meets her. He can't wrap his mind around what's happening right now. And I was like, God, that would have been really funny had Brian Campbell's girl looked like Jake Knapp's girl, and we could have just all been like,
what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case. Yeah. I don't know. That was the weirdest couple hours. I just obviously made a lot of commentary on stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Well, I was playing golf with my daughter yesterday, and then one of her friends and her dad, and we had dinner after, and that tournament was wrapping up, and it was kind of a daddy-daughter day, but the tournament's going up on the side, and I have, Augustus Gloop there at, what did we get him at? 6. I think I got him at 50 to 1 actually.
Who did you just say?
The dude from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Pot Geeter. So I had him,
Packeter.
right? That's how you say his
Yes,
name, right?
yes.
Yeah. And
Don't accidentally call him Augustus Gloop on the Players Championship broadcast or something.
I won't. Anyways, yeah. So I'm watching the playoff, and I can kind of see the TV a little bit. I can tell like if Brian Campbell's up, his body type versus Pot Geeters. So
yeah,
they have the shot tracer on Campbell's ball, and I see this big old wipe, and I know Wright's OB there, and I'm like sick because the whole week from a betting perspective, I mean, we were all around that thing, but the whole week, like Jaeger, Pot Geeter, like just basically, two of the top three for pretty much the whole weekend. And then that happens, and it's just like, that felt like, you know what it felt like? I was on the wrong end of the replacement ref game in Seattle when they called it a touchdown and it was an interception. Like remember that?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It felt like it kind of felt like that. I mean, this was game over if this ball does what it does.
Game over
100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
It's just what a time for a bounce for Brian Campbell. At the same time, though, like, and I know you joked a little bit about, you're not gonna believe what I just knocked over. You ready for this?
What did you just
look at this guy?
Oh dear. Is he okay?
He's okay.
Dude,
okay.
you can put those in front of some single MILFs around Augusta and
really that does something
services. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy got put in jail for that.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So where was I at?
Yeah, I don't remember now.
Me.
we got into.
It was just tough, man. I mean, that's a tough beat. But at the same time, you talked about Campbell and jabbed at him a little bit. Like, man, that's pretty cool for that guy. That bounce might be like a $5 million bounce. I mean, he's
unreal.
He's in all the signature events now, the players, the majors. Like, that is
well. So I think I saw something on X. He's not in. All
really? What's he not in?
He's in the Masters and the Open. I think. I don't think he's in the PGA or the US Open.
Whatever. I mean, good enough.
Right.
He's going to Maui next year. Like, yeah. He's sorted for. He can take a deep breath. He's going to be all right.
And I mean, obviously, I was watching it with my son. You might have been like the only guy in America craning his neck at a golf course trying to watch that thing last night or yesterday. But I was watching it with my son who plays golf, and of course, he can't stand him either because he's like, he loves the guy that has 194 ball speed, right?
Sure.
And it's 5 years older than him, but Campbell, you got to give the dude. I mean, he hit some incredible wedge shots. Not just in the playoff, but all day, all week, I guess. I mean, he just played to his strengths, and everyone, the entire betting community, the entire golf community, all we did was talk about how you've got to bomb it here, or you putt your dick off all 4 days, and that's how you get it done. And I don't think he did that either. I guess he just. I mean, dang, it was pretty impressive. At the end of it, I'm like, I still don't really know what happened or how it happened, but damn.
You do still have to bomb it there. I mean, that's definitely, he just was.
Yeah.
He was something else. I mean, do you know anybody that had that guy last week? No.
I saw somebody on X.
Really?
They had him.
Had to be a buddy or
like
something.
270 to 1. No, it was somebody had it. I mean, it wasn't a tout though.
Yeah, our friend that does that golf checker, it was the first time I think he'd ever had a winner that no one had.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of course, everyone had Pot Geeter. I mean, you had him. Pat brought him up on the show. We both talked about him a couple of times on the show. You had him in the Discord. I mean, everybody was on it.
I did have last week Harry Hall first round, sneaky one, but that saved me last week.
Well, then Pat had Ventura in the Discord.
I had Ventura. I had an actual God.
What happened there? Because I saw he got to 8 under, and what he bogey? How did he bogey 9?
Yeah, he just bailed out to the not bailed out, but just hit it out to the right on that par 3, and he couldn't get up and down. I mean, kind of just like you and I talked about, Matt. I mean, he could a lot of putt short, or if you're hitting off, chips off the green were left short. I don't know. It just, but the whole Campbell thing, I guess it just is what it is. But that's what happens.
It
in
is.
golf.
It's
It's very
super
frustrating,
deflating.
especially after
It's
we talked,
deflating.
Matt, about like how the year had gone so far for you,
Yes.
and now this happens to you. So you're kind of getting you're getting really acclimated to betting on golf.
I'm getting the full fist right now.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you know this, but last year was like the worst betting year, at least for me.
Really?
That I've had since we've done it. And how many winners did I hit last year, Pat? 2? I hit 2.
Maybe 2, yeah.
All year, Matt.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if Pocketer wins, and it probably puts me up over the year. I mean, it would have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a quick turnaround, and then Harry with that first round, what did it get cut into third or fourth?
3.
Yeah, third.
It was
but still, it was a nice. It's a nice enough hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought this was easy. I don't think it's easy. I think it's hard as fuck.
Yeah,
but
picking winners is impossible. So.
Yeah, it is. But who knows? You can also go 2 or 3 weeks in a row and hit 2 or 3 winners and turn this thing around.
I will say, me and Pat have an excellent record here at PGA National.
Oh, really?
4 of the last 6 winners. We missed Sungjae and we missed Ekro. Those are the only winners of this event we have not hit. So let's get hot, and now we're in Florida. We're in Matty Every's backyard, place where he just dominates. Bay Hill next week, but still Florida. We're ready for all you got, Matt. All your insights, some good stories, some good tips and tricks on the golf course, all that good stuff. Let's have your thoughts.
The golf course, just a great test. Now, a lot of it's weather dependent. Did you guys hear they got a ton? We got a little bit of rain today, but they're about 4 hours south of here, and I think they got quite a bit of rain.
Did. We are hearing rumors it's rather overseeded again this year. We did hear that.
Yeah, and that's a bummer. I will say this about Honda or whatever. Was it Cognizant now?
Yeah,
Cognizant. Some of the worst mud balls on tour, like far and away. I can remember shots into like if you got a chilly morning and it was blowing like 10 miles an hour, overcast, and you hit a good enough drive to find the fairway on 11, and then you walk up there and you got a 180 into the sliver of a green crosswind, and there's just mud all over your ball. I mean, it's a very unsettling feeling. I just think it's it's kind of an older golf course, and whatever the root structure is like there, it is. I'm telling you, big old globs of mud. It wouldn't shock me at all if you saw that this week. They're not crazy about playing it up there either, though. So I don't know. We'll see. I do think Bermuda grass guys help here. I don't think it hurts, even though it is overseeded. You're still going to get some squirrely lies around the green that, maybe a guy excels a little bit out of that type of grass versus something else. Overseed though does help a little bit. The guys from the West Coast, I would say.
What I was looking at the weather. Conditions look pretty nice right now.
They're real nice. Gonna blow one day.
Yeah, no more rain. Maybe a little blow on Friday, maybe. But I was gonna ask you this: what's the lowest wind at that golf course based on the setup and the way everything's going and all the all the hazards, the water, all that's into play? Like, what's the lowest mile an hour wind that you start to go, okay, this is going to change our approach or change how we got to be extra careful here?
Well, that's the thing. It would be nice to know how deep the rough is right now, because the greens are going to be soft. If it dumped today, I have a hard time believing it's going to be dried out by Thursday. I really doubt that golf course has sub air. I know it doesn't, and it's just probably going to be receptive Bermuda grass greens.
Pat taking the longest sip of whatever that drink is.
No. Yeah, what do we got going over there, Pat?
He's just frozen. We don't know. Oh, there we go. All right, sorry.
I don't have one. I'm on freaking hotspot. What do you want me to do? Turn the camera off? I can do that.
DB, I would say like 10 mile, like a healthy 10. But if that place is firm and you're missing fairways, it's a different animal than if it's firm and you're missing fairways and you can still slap it up there and you're going to get these craters in the green as your ball mark this week. I don't know. That's if they got a ton of rain today, though. It did look like it on the radar.
Pretty much like, would you agree? This is pretty much a, club down, whatever you got to do to get it in the fairway, attack from the fairway.
Yeah.
And then it kind of tests you through the middle of the bag. It looks like, based on some of the bet the number model stuff, and then kind of, scramble putting on Bermuda, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think I was looking at, speaking of our friends at Bet the Number, they tweeted out today, kind of this thing on the variance of this golf course, and it's super high variance. The course history, the recent form, just if you look at leaderboards over the last couple of years, it's wild. Guys who have poor records or no experience at all here popping up and winning, or having a great, having a top 5 or top 10 finish. Guys coming in not the best form all the time, but more so the course history thing. Is it kind of just an all in front of you situation? Like, it's not super hard to figure out. It's not very tricked out. There's not nuances to the course.
It is, but there's also some very just demanding golf shots, especially, depending on the wind direction. You just can't, you're not going to go through a whole round of golf there being comfortable over every shot. Like 6 is just a brutal tee shot. And then the par 3 is, you historically, they play 15 plays. I feel like it plays dead off the right. And then 17 plays kind of in off the right. And both of those holes, if you're not a left to right, if you can't work it left to right, like, you're going to have a big problem on those holes, because you have to start it 20 yards over the water, because it's such a heavy wind, and it's, completely exposed. Yeah, I don't know where I was at there, DB.
Interesting. Well, yeah. let's get to the picks. Let's talk about the season long bet, because Pat continues to widen his lead last week with Jaeger and Valimaki. Now Pat with almost a $300,000 lead on yours truly. Matt said about 800,000 behind. Tony is 1.2 million behind, but anything can happen quickly. We're going to pick one player at 50 to 1 or shorter, and one player at 150 to 1 or longer. And today, I believe, Mr. Matt, you have first.
Oh, I do. All right. I am going to go. Give me Sugar Shane.
Shane Lowry. Sugar Shane, the local now.
The local. It's been a local for a little bit, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Patrick.
I got to go with my Georgia boy, with my Bulldog, Russell Henley.
Oh,
Henley.
Love Henley this week.
Okay, now it goes to me. I will. I'm going to take the Florida boy. I know Matt's been bullish on this guy all year. Another local, sleeping in his own bed, booger, Daniel Berger. Give me D-Boog, 28 to 1. Tony.
I got to do something here this week, fellas.
Yeah,
back-to-back weeks, $0.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm gonna go back to the well, who a couple weeks ago got me at least some cash. I'm gonna go Sep.
That was gonna be my pick, if not for Berger. I like that.
I like that too.
Okay. So Tony, you get to get both your guys.
Ooh. So coming back, again, I'm a little down on myself after back-to-back $0 weeks. Maybe you guys can give me a little pick-me-up here. How about Toasty?
Toasty. What's Toasty's odds at?
Toasty.
He's at 150 to 1.
I like Toasty. He worries me with he's apparently just hyper aggressive. So
it worries me too on a place like this.
Yeah.
Like that bet could be over after 9 holes.
Yeah. Where you could boat race everybody.
Good. Totally good.
Come on, guys. It's gonna boat race everybody. Give me a
Yeah. I'm tempted to unveil a super bomb that I like right now, but I don't want to do it. I'm going to tease that. There's a mega bomb that I really like, and I would arguably put in this position, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to ride the hot hand. Our boy Joel Damon at 170 to 1. He's playing well right now. I was shocked to see him play so well last week in Mexico. A course that I don't think suits him very well. This will suit him much better. So I'm going to go Joel Dahmen. Pat, it is you.
Oh, man, I don't know. I have not known what to do about this pick. Am I even on the screen? I don't even know. I can't.
Yeah, you
All
are.
right, I'm gonna go with Ben Silverman.
Ben Silverman?
Ben Silverman, 150 to 1. Yeah.
Saving Silverman. Another great movie. All right, Matt, your last pick, 150 to 1 or longer.
All right. I'm looking at who your mega bomb could be. Are you back on the Davis Riley train? Is that who it is?
God, no.
No?
No. I was never on the Davis Riley train. Do not.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
I think that was you. I think that was you, Matt.
Yeah, that was definitely.
I'm gonna go Trey Mullinax.
We're back on the Mullinax train. God, he boned all of us last week.
Yeah, he did. He did. I'm gonna let him bone me again this week.
Ooh.
Fisting, boning.
Fisting and boning. That's Matt's fantasy football team next year. All right, thanks, guys. Thank you, Tony. All right, so that's the season-long bet. Now let's get Matt out of here with your give us some other bets you like. Oh, no, you know what I want? Come on, man. Like in Florida, I know you did these events for years. I want like a story. You got like a PGA National story?
I got great ones. Yeah. Do you remember the year Chesson Hadley was getting chased around by birds there?
I didn't remember it was Chesson, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was in the same group as him. Exact same hole. It was bizarre as shit. I went to like underhand, kind of like Uncle Rico my ball to my caddy, and he was standing over by the water, and like the ball's mid-flight, and he's not looking. I'm like, Derek, and he turns around and he like just does it. He just freezes, and it hits and it rolls into the water, and there's like all this algae, nasty slime like at the top level, and you can't see my ball, and I have to find my ball or it's a penalty, right?
Oh.
So he's standing right there. He watches it roll in. It's one of my best friends. And I walk over to him. Cheston's getting chased by birds. And I'm like, Derek, I go, where did that ball roll in at? And he goes, I don't know. I blacked out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, get in there. So he's like deathly afraid of snakes and gators.
Yeah.
Gets in there. You can't see anything in there. Feels around in there, and like 30 seconds left, finds it. It was great. I had no clue Chesson was even getting chased at the time, and then his thing made like the Sports Center top 10 or something. It was a pretty funny day. I also made like a 15 on a hole there one year.
Oh, nice.
But I was gonna miss the cut, and I was just trying to hit a golf shot, and it wasn't working out.
You just keep keeping it.
Who else? Yeah, somebody else did that recently on this course. Well, I think a lot of people.
Me, it was number 6, or no, it was number 5, par 3. Yeah.
Oh, on the par 3?
Yeah,
you made a 15 on the par 3.
I don't know if it was a lot. It was maybe 11 or a 9. But
I feel like Thomas Dietrich did it.
Pin was back left. Did he do it last year?
I don't know. He did something a couple years ago and totally ejected from. This course will eject you.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like some weeks are over 9 holes in.
Oh yeah, no, it's earlier than that for a lot of, like when you favorite your outrights on Wednesday and you wake up on Thursday at, if you get to sleep in or something, or you live in Central Time world or whatever, and it's like 9 a.m., 8:30, and guys are 6 holes in and they're plus 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fun. Was this the same course Eric Van Rooyen had the bees thing? Remember that happening last year?
That was
wasn't it EVR with the bees?
Yeah, but that was last week.
Oh, it was Vedanta last year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Okay, hit us with your bets. Favorite outrights, couple favorite placements. We obviously know you put your final picks, all that good stuff in the Discord, the Tour Junkies Discord.
Yeah. A lot of times this is rushed on Mondays.
Well, and you don't know the weather and all that stuff.
Yeah. These are just initial looks here. Yeah. All right. I have Berger on my card, 28 to 1.
I knew you would.
Yeah, you knew that. I have Henley on my card. What's he at?
22 right now.
Okay, 22. Okay, so 22, 28. Then I'm going to go. Oh man, Billy 50-1.
Yeah, I knew that was coming too.
Did you? I spent some time with him last week. He's in a nice place, ready to get back on the East Coast. Okay, I have some just names written down that caught my eye. I like a guy that keeps it in play this week. And then a nice iron player is something I will always like, no matter where. But Glover, I have written down. DB, you're not crazy about him, are you?
No, I have him written down too. He's not like a for sure thing right now, but I like it.
Okay, and then for a couple triple digit guys, I have Nico at 100-1 and Svensson at 110-1.
I looked at Nico, but I don't have even one of those guys.
And then top 20s, I've been going pretty juicy on my top 20s. I'm gonna pump it down a little bit. We'll go Shane, even money, top 20 this week. Novak 2-1 on a top 20, and then kind of a bomb, but Will Gordon plus 650 top 20.
He hurt me last week.
He did hurt me too.
All right. I got 2 questions for you. We'll let you get out of here.
Yeah.
First off, I'm a little surprised you didn't say your boy Gracerman, considering your.
It's kind of I feel like that wave of momentum he's had
A little bit, yeah,
slowed down a little bit.
But he's a local.
I know. There's a lot of locals this week.
I know.
A lot of them
here. I like that for Gracerman. He's caught my eye at 50-1. But Matt, why would you take freaking Russell Henley at 22-1?
I know it's a short number. Burgers that's short for him too.
When you could have a winner in Sepp Straka at 22-1, right?
Yeah.
To me, I'm looking at those 2 guys, and I get it. Both of them check a lot of boxes. Both of them keep it in play. Both of them, all those things. But to me, both of them Georgia Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
I
see what you're saying.
Sepp's won here. First of all, he's won here, and
I thought Henley's won here too.
If he has, it's been a long time ago. I don't remember Henley winning here.
I thought Henley won.
Maybe yes, but I don't remember that.
But Pat, we did not do well last week with Harry Hall, by the way.
Oh, it was an opposite field event.
I know that's like a half a win. I've always thought
not knowing that is inexcusable.
Oh well, timeout. It's a half a win.
In the comments, we're all over the comments talking about you guys not. Pat not knowing it is ridiculous.
Okay, first of all, I'm not an expert or never claimed to be like a pro at this. And Harry Hall, that is by far one of the most forgettable tour events ever. I would be bummed if I was Harry Hall and that was my first tour win. I would.
I mean, what was? Yes, he has won. By the way, Henley has won the Honda Classic. How do you not know that, DB?
What year? What year was that?
2014. He still won it.
11 years ago. I didn't even know you in 2014. I didn't even know who you were. 11 years ago, you weren't wearing readers. I can tell you that. That was a long time ago.
He won it though. We're challenging each other on our history. I'm just saying.
Pat, I asked you. I questioned myself too
and then Pat was just like, "Oh yeah, you're probably right."
Yeah, Pat, TBH, you should have known that, Pat.
He should have known that. Yes,
I don't know.
The people in the comments were disappointed. I would have called you both out on that very quickly. I knew my boy.
Fair enough.
All right, Matt. We'll let you get back to your
lovely
Monday evening.
Bay Hill next week, playing the Monday Pro Am. I'll be
Sweet.
Boots on the ground.
Well, we got to figure out how we're going to talk to you next week then, because
I'll talk to you after when I'm done playing.
You might have to send us a FaceTime video or something too to plug into the show. I don't know, something.
Okay.
All right.
We'll get
Thanks,
creative.
Matt. Yeah. Let's flex those creative muscles.
Let's do it.
Big week next week. Thank you, man.
Big week. Yep. See you, Matt. All right. Thanks to Matt. Listen, everybody, if you've not already, get involved in SoBet. Among the other things that a few things we got right last week, like, having Jaeger on the card, having a Sunday Sweat, Smalley, Højgaard top 20, Jaeger top 20. I did have my first loss, Pat, in a matchup last week, but I gave out 3 matchups. 2 of them won, and the 1 lost by a shot. Actually, he lost to Harry Hall. Daggum Kevin, you lost to Harry Hall in my matchup. But I went 2-1 in matchups on SoBet last week We are now 11-1-1 and up over 14 units on SoBet for 2025. Get involved. Click the link in the description. Join SoBet. TJ2025 is the code that pre-fills. Get your first month for free and enjoy 70 plus really well done, vetted handicappers for every sport imaginable over there on SoBet to get your picks, your bets, your analysis, all that good stuff on SoBet. We appreciate them for supporting the show. All right, Pat. What other bets do you have? Outright bets. Let's start short. Obviously, I have Sep. I'm a big believer in Sep. I've already mentioned Burger. Both of those two, I can pretty much guarantee will be on the card. There's maybe one more, two more that I can guarantee. The rest of it, I really can't figure out. But who are your shorter guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've got Henley. I think he's definitely going to be on the card. So we'll go ahead and
But
say
why?
that.
But why Henley over Sep? If you had to pick one.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think Henley's. I mean, I think he checks just as many boxes as Sep does. He hasn't won like Sep has recently, but he's been pretty damn good. I mean, he had a 5th place finish at Pebble Beach. He was 39th, a couple of weeks ago at the Genesis. I think, and he has a great history here. I think Henley's is a good fit. I mean, it's more of a preference thing to me. I don't think you
prefer
going
a
wrong
loser?
with Sep. I almost called him Seppa. Straka. I don't think Henley's a loser. He's won more times on tour than Sep.
But he's also been on tour a lot longer. I mean, when's the last time Henley won? I don't even remember.
He won in 2022, the Worldwide Technology Championship.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't see getting. So he's got 3. He's got what? 2 wins?
4 wins.
No, he's got 4 wins. And how many does Sep have?
3.
3. Way less time too. Yeah, and more recent. And he does actually. Sep's checking as many boxes, if not more, than freaking Henley right now. And the course history is just as good, if not better. And more recent.
In the BTN model, Henley's ahead of Sep, but
not in DV's BTN model.
Well, I'm just telling you, in the BTN model, he's at 13 and Sep is at 27. So I think we're splitting hairs a little bit because I could just as easily turn around on Wednesday and put Sep on the card. I do like Taylor.
I'm not saying I don't like Henley. I do like Henley. I get it. But I'm looking at here. I'm like, there's one guy in here I'm going to take. I'm going to take the guy who wins, and it's Sep. Continue.
Okay. I do think Taylor Pendrith might end up on the card. And I don't. This has got a little gut feel to it. He's at 28-1. I think he can probably get him longer. I'm looking at DK. He's been here the last 3 years. He feels like he kind of fits the mold of somebody to just come out and win this golf tournament. You always see somebody in the hunt in this golf tournament that you're not expecting. And now Pendrith is, if he's in the hunt, he's one of the favorites when you consider who's up here up top. And maybe this is a little bit of a, hey, I want to be a little different than every single person that's going to put Daniel Berger on their betting card, because that's what's going to happen. So I'm sort of pivoting off of Berger, and I think Pendrith you could talk about him as a pivot potentially in DFS, but I do think Taylor might end up on the card. So of the shorter odds guys, I think Henley and Pendrith are my favorite.
You're hitting me in the feels because I love Taylor Pendrith. Very bullish on Taylor Pendrith. Been betting him literally almost every week he's played this year. And I'm looking at him today and I'm like, this isn't a Taylor Pendrith course necessarily. I mean, it could be because obviously the guy hits it really far and for the most part, pretty straight, actually. He's shockingly straight for as long as he hits it. But, running the model, it's a little off in terms of some of the short game stuff that he needs to do well out here. Obviously doesn't have the record here that Berger has if you're comparing these two for whatever reason. But I mean, it is, I get it. I'm not mad at it. And I do love the guy. And I think he's going to have a great year. But that's just not one I pulled the trigger on, but I get it. And I know you're being contrarian.
Would you rather take him or Minwoo Lee?
I would much rather have Pendrith. Much rather have Pendrith.
When Minwoo Lee, though, has a much better, if you think about it, record here.
Sure. But yeah, I don't care. Like I still don't fully trust Minwoo Lee. I don't. I get the upside is there, but I just don't trust the guy. Like not fully. Not at 35-1. I don't. I mean, I would take Pendrith over Denny McCarthy, Keith Mitchell, and I love Keith Mitchell over Minwoo Lee, over Kurt Kitayama. I would literally take him over. I mean, a lot of guys like Berger, Straka, Henley, Lowry. I would put over him. I almost kind of, I mean, I'd borderline take him over Sungjae in terms of just a guy who I trust to come out here and win. Plus, Sungjae's not hitting it well right now. His irons are terrible. So that's where I'd put it. I would take Pendrith fifth, like overall out of the whole field. So yeah, I mean, I like him too. I just don't know that like from a structure on the card, I don't know if he'll be there. I alluded earlier to Max Gracerman. I do like Gracerman to bounce back. I think, he did kind of cool off after a really hot start to the year, a good fall. He's cooled off, but I mean, we're talking about cooling off to like a T24 at the Genesis in a strong field, elevated field, not a big deal. I think he could bounce back here. I know for a fact he's very comfortable on this golf course. He's had plenty of laps around here. He grew up not too far from here. Got a sponsor's invite, I think, last year to that T47. So I think Gracerman might surprise a few people in terms of maybe a little bit of a bounce back from a couple of, lackluster weeks in a row here. So I'll go Gracerman at 50. There's some other names in here I'm eyeing, but the next one that for sure is going on the card is I think Højgaard is one of the best values in the entire field. I don't know how people possibly could price Højgaard at 55-1. I think that's a wonderful price for this guy, as good as he hits it. So I'm very much in on Højgaard. I don't think a lot has to be said there. You can get him at 60-1. He's a lock for me.
Yeah, I think I got him last week, and this was more later in the week, and I think I talked about him in the Nut Hut chat, but I got Højgaard at plus 250 on a top 20. Felt so easy last week for Mexico, and it hit very easily. Yep. Pretty excited about that, but I agree. I think he's a good play. I think that's good value. Look, I think it seems to be a little bit of a Bulldog theme here, but a lot of Bulldogs are very good on the golfing tour, DB. Davis Thompson, man, 40-1. I'll take him. Look, I mean, he's played here once with the T47 last year. He's been playing well. He checks a lot of boxes here when you look at, off the tee, you look at around the green. I think Davis Thompson at 40-1 is a pretty good bet there. So I will take DT also and put him on the card.
I guess for my last one, and I don't know how all this is going to shake out, by the time I put the card together, but I mean, I kind of want to ride the hot hand with Celinda, but I don't know. I also I think Joel Damon is a good value at 170. I mean, Celinda's hot and he hits it far and he's, all that, and a great fit for Mexico, but I think Joel fits this place a little better, and you can get him at a massive number, 170 on FanDuel. I think he's like 120. He's 120 on DK. But I mean, Joel's gonna hit fairways. He's never really played this place all that well, which I don't know what that could be. He could have a mental block here, but I know he's been working on that side of things, and he's got 2 top 10s in his last 3 starts. So I think at that number, I think Joel Damon is in play. I saved my mega bomb for the top 20s. So let's talk top 20s, and then we'll talk some DFS pivots and get out of here. 2 locks for me are pretty easy. Sepp plus 120, Daniel Berger plus 130. That's pretty straightforward. I mean, there is a lot of variance here, so it felt a little like Mexico last week, where I didn't really want to take a lock that was super short because I felt like they were all going to bomb, but I think there's a little stronger conviction up top here than there was last week. So those 2 for me are the locks.
Well, I'm going to validate you a little bit here because I think Sepp at plus 120 for a top 20 is it feels a little too easy for a lock. And then I actually am going to go Minwoo Lee at plus 150 as a top 20 bet. I don't trust him to win. I do not trust him to win. Yeah. But I do not trust him to win. Plus 150.
Okay. Don't trust him to win. But he's like, that's good. Like, that's what people should do. If you really like a guy, or a guy checks a box, or you think he he could do well, and you don't like the outright number, you're not sure he could actually win, this is what you should do. This is why we give you the top 20s. This is why we think about the top 20. So I think that's a fine play.
All right. I'm going to let you go to the bomb in a second. I'll go with mine because, I mean, I know that producer Tony's paying attention right now, and so he'll love this. But I mean, look, Rio, yes, plus 450. Look, the guy's just hit or miss, and I feel like he could be a little too aggressive sometimes. I don't know, just get that feeling about Hisatulcier, but at plus 450, coming off of a decent week, I'm gonna go with Rio. He had a top 10 last week in Mexico. I'm gonna ride the hot hand in Rio.
Rio Hisatulcier. What was the number again?
Plus 450.
Okay. I've actually got two sneaky bombs. I'm gonna put both of them in the Discord. I'm gonna talk about one now, but I'll put the other one in the Discord. But let me just sell this to you real quick before I tell you the name, Pat. This guy is a winner on tour. He hits, he averages over 70% of his fairways. Like he hits over 70%. Tour average is well below that, and he crushes that. So he's going to hit fairways here. He's going to stay out of trouble, which is good, obviously. He played here last year. He did miss the cut. I think he missed it maybe on the number. Despite missing the cut, he gained 3.7 strokes ball striking, which is pretty solid for a guy who had to miss the cut. He does have a T14 here, best finish, T14. Ball striking has always elevated here. Really, it's been the short game that's held him back. If you look recently, last week, he actually played. Didn't play great, but he did okay. He made the cut. Gained strokes around the green. Gained strokes around the green in the 2 rounds he played at the Farmers. And the putting has been positive for the last few weeks, really. I'm talking about plus 750. Francesco Molinari. What do you think?
Actually was
multiple tour
he was
winner.
One of the ones I was thinking about guessing when you were talking about it, because he's dealt with some injuries. They had him on, he got a little airtime in Mexico, and apparently he's back feeling good, after the injuries. I don't mind it.
I also forgot to mention major winner. Like,
yeah, he's won an Open championship. He
I
almost won a Masters.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you go back to 2024, if you look at the events he played in 2024, for the most part, he was still very good on approach. Like, hit a bunch of good approach shots. And obviously he lacks a lot of pop in the bat. I mean, he hits it like, dang, Brian, what's his face? I've already forgotten his name. I literally can't remember his name. McDonald?
Campbell.
Brian Campbell. He hits it like that off the tee. But he hits literally every fairway. And so I just think, I could see a guy like him, an older guy, doing all right here. Staying out of trouble. Little veteran Francesco Molinari. So there you go. Obviously, as we transition to DFS pivots, I want to go down to the 6K. Let's talk about 6K picks because he's down there. I definitely think Molinari is an option for me in the 6K range. Where is he exactly? He is, whoops, that is not right. 6,300. There's a guy cheaper than him though, Pat, that I was kind of eyeballing, and it's a guy who checks the boxes on the key. Like, if you look at my BTN model, some of the key iron distances, he's top 12 in one range, top 20, he's 29th in the other. The approach numbers are actually very solid. The reason why he doesn't gain strokes off the tee is he's kind of a dinker, again, like Molinari. Fairly accurate, though. Just terrible short game. But when he comes here, short game kind of elevates. He's played here 2 times. He's gained over 6 strokes around the green. David Lipsky is at $6,200. I think David Lipsky is an interesting pivot. Mateo Manacero at 68. I was looking at playing okay right now. Christopher Ventura, I'm going back to at 6,900. He did well for me last week. I mean, he kind of faded after you hit him in the first round leader on Thursday, but still had a good week. I like him. That's the 6K for me. You got any guys in the 6K you like?
I mean, I think
Those are my
you
6K
could look at
days.
it.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Nita.
shout out Nita. Victor Perez, I think you could look at there at 6,800, coming off of he was T16 here last year. He barely made the cut in Mexico. And anyway, I think Danny Willett, DB. What do you think there? Top 10 at the Farmers.
I don't hate it.
He's been pretty good here. He's great around the greens. He is 6,400. And then I do like the Will Gordon play that that Matt mentioned. I know a lot of people got burned by him last week, but still an excellent ball striker. He's played here a couple times, made the cut both times. I think Will Gordon is interesting down there at 6,300.
7K range. I like Chan Kim.
Absolutely. 100%.
Had a good week for us last week. Talked about him. Grayson Siggs playing sneaky good right now, and his short game and putting has not been great. And he shockingly doesn't check out great on Bermuda either. But obviously, Grayson is very familiar with Bermuda surfaces, and should be good at it. But his ball striking's been really solid to start the year. So I think Sig is interesting. And then I kind of fancy some Lee Hodges along with everybody else. Matt mentioned Glover. Glover's caught my eye. Johnny Vegas is always going to catch my eye here as well. Good ball striker. Doesn't make big numbers. Can feast on the par fives that you got to do here. You got to make your hay on the par fives. Hold on to your pants for everything else. That's probably it for me.
I think a few. I think CT Pan at 7,200. He's top 10 in the BTN model. He's had 3 straight top 30 finishes here, including 16th and T3 in 2021 and 2022. So I think CT Pan makes some sense. I think Bud Cawley.
I kind of looked at
Bud
that.
Cawley there at.
For you.
I appreciate that. 7,300. Had a top 25 here last year. T21 at the Waste Management in his last start. He's 25th in the BTN model. I don't think I would overlook Jake Knapp at 7,300. I think he's going to be chalky though, don't you think?
Probably a little bit. Yeah. I mean, he's not going to suit the course super well, but he obviously played well last year on the heels of winning the Mexico event. So he can always club down.
He's playing a lot. This is going to be a 6th straight event, 5th or 6th. No, 6th straight event at least.
God, his biceps must be so weary.
I think kind of as far as pivots, that's probably the only ones that I'm on right now that I see.
Look, man, your internet's held up nicely. It's held up. It was a little rocky start. Your eyeballs have also held up. You've managed to you can at least see the screen. I noticed some struggles, but you're there.
My pupils were very big.
Yeah. What are you going to do now after the show?
I don't know what I'm going to do, actually. I was going to go on another show, but I'm not now, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably going to watch some TGL.
Oh, really?
Tony Finau is making his debut tonight.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I don't like that a team gets to just call in a random sub, a one-day contract deal. I don't like that. I think
Did they say what he got? Like what kind of money he made for his one-day contract?
Maybe it's performance based. Maybe he's got to show up and show out tonight. I don't know.
I mean, it seems to me like these teams should have a bench of some sort, and that's like they have
one guy. They have one guy extra, right?
So they had to go beyond the one guy extra in TGL and go to a one-day contract.
Yeah, and what if I bet on another team to win the whole thing, the whole championship, and Tony sets the world on fire tonight and helps his team advance, or what? I don't even know the format. What if that happens?
I have no clue. I really don't.
I don't know. I don't like it. I think you should be stuck.
You don't like TGL, or you don't like the whole bringing in a sub one-day contract?
I definitely don't like the one-day contract thing. I don't know where I stand on TGL. I kind of like it for what could I compare this to? like if it's an hour long, like how long does the whole match take? I guess it depends. But like if it's
It
an
take
hour
like an
worth
hour and a half, maybe.
okay, if it's an hour worth of television or hour and a half worth of television, I like it for 20 minutes. I like it for 20 minutes.
It's kind of something that's good to be on while it's sort of like baseball to me. Like when you're watching baseball in the summer and you're watching the Braves and you just kind of
I'm
have it
supposed
on.
to get into that this year.
I saw that. I think you'll enjoy it because the Braves are going to be probably better than last year because they got injuries, people off of injuries. But listen, last week I did do you think Tiger really thought that shot was 99 yards and not 199 yards? Did you see that? Do you think that was
Yes.
all invented?
No, I think that was real.
Huh.
I think that was real because Tiger, like, I think he was a little embarrassed by it. You could see it in his face when he walked over because like kids and all of them were dying laughing. They were getting it all over themselves laughing at him. I think he was a little embarrassed by it. If they wanted to set somebody up for that, for the entertainment value, it dang sure ain't gonna be King Tiger, the pharaoh
You're
of
right.
all of golf. They're not gonna. He owns the dang league, right? Like, isn't he a part owner? So like, it's not gonna be him that does that. They're gonna do that to Kiss, or they're gonna do it to name anyone else. It's not gonna be Tiger.
Yeah.
So I think that was 100% real, and I think he's a little embarrassed by it. It's not embarrassing. Who cares?
It's not really, and it's definitely something that's going to happen on a screen. There's no way he'd be on an actual golf course and think a shot was 99 versus 200 yards.
And so maybe like that's about the 20-minute mark too, is where I start to just be like, God, this is just not like I watch these guys. I can watch these guys 46 weeks a year. Like not all of them, obviously, because they're a lot of the best players and they don't play 46 weeks a year. But for 46 weeks out of the year, there is golf that I can watch that is real golf and that is, not a driver that, plugs in, takes one hop and stops on the, like on the simulator, or, a misread simulator shot, or, Morikawa hitting it on a slope that's supposedly like this, and he gets to stand flat footed and hit it. Like I can watch real golf for a lot. If I think it could do better if the tour, well, maybe not, because then you're up against football in the evenings. But like, I think the TGL is a good little appetizer if golf truly had an off season. If golf had, 15 or 20 weeks a year where there wasn't golf, and they just led us up to the season. We got to see these guys a little bit beforehand. Maybe it was like, I got this new equipment deal. I've made these swing changes, and now we get to see them leading up to the season. And this was kind of the buildup, and it was scratching my golf itch that I hadn't had in a long time. Then I would be like, yeah, let's do it. This is what I can get. I want it. But in the middle of the season, especially like now, where I like this time of year, I know a lot of people don't pay any attention to the Players or Masters or whatever. I still like these events. It just doesn't do it for me, but at least not past 20 minutes. But for the first 20 minutes, I am entertained.
Yeah. I've watched more than I thought I would. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Good show. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next week. Bay Hill. Is it a signature event next week again? I'm pretty sure it is. I think it is. We'll
hopefully my Wi-Fi will be back.
And and hopefully Pat's Wi-Fi. Matt will be doing something. Yes, he'll do something for us. Obviously, 2-time Bay Hill winner, Bay Hill champion. We'll get some stories out of him. We'll get some obviously good takes, and then we got the Players the week after. So it's going to be fantastic. Big announcement on next week's show too. Don't forget that. That will happen next week's show. Hit the description. Join BTN, SoBet, our Ireland trip, all that good stuff, and have a great week. See you. Oh, wait a minute. May your screens be green and bend over your bookie. See ya. Ow.
Good Lord.
Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.